This part of the guided journey, we're going to explore how to create a data model or data integration for an adaptive form. A form data model or data integration lets us set up the form to submit data to a relational database without using code. As shown later on in this guided journey in part 6, which we talk about a custom submit action, in this section we're also going to use the same database. So it's underneath our database. In this example, at Sooners, we have a customer details table. It's got the following fields: ID, which is the primary key, name, shipping, email, state, and zip code. So right now we're in the data integrations view. So notice the URL is localhost 42 am forms.html/content/dam/forms in documents -fdm. So once we're in here, we can create a new form model by clicking the create button and then clicking form data model. It's going to give us an option, so enter a title. So we'll say customer form model. This is a customer form model. And then click next. It's going to ask us to select the configuration that we set up. So we've already set up a We Retail MySQL. If you want to know how to do that, look at part 6 under create a custom submit action. We go through how to set this up, how to configure this within AM. Click create and then open. So here we've got a new customer form data model. Now what we want to do is expand the We Retail MySQL. So now notice that we have different schemas in our database. We'll select the Sooners one, select customer details, expand that. Here we can see, here's all of the fields in our customer details table. Underneath services, we want to click get and update. These by default, this will retrieve the data from the database. This will update the data in the database. These come by default with the form data model. So now we're ready to start further configuring the data model. To start with, we're going to click the add selected button as shown at the bottom of the screen right here. Now you can see once successful, we have that message saying it was successfully configured. Now we can see the customer's detail, the top level model object shown here. So we can see we have the ID, notice the key icon, we have the name, notice ABC that depicts, it's a string column. Likewise, 1, 2, 3 specifies that the ID field is numeric. So we have ID, name, shipping, email, state, and zip code. Now we're going to select the customer details here and we're going to go into edit properties. Once we're in edit properties, we can further edit this. So what we want to do is from the read service, we want to select get. And then notice that we have the ID, we want to click the edit icon. And then we want to go through here, we want to make sure that this is, the name is the ID, type is number, which is correct, this specifies the data type. We want to switch binding to request attribute, binding value ID. And then we want to make sure it's mandatory argument is on, and then click done. That's the first service that's configured. Now we're going to configure the write service. So from the drop down, we're going to click update. Then we're going to, on customer details, we're going to click the edit icon. So notice it's customer details, types object, we'll click done. Now we successfully have both the read and write up services updated. So now we're going to configure the services. So we're going to click in the services tab. Notice the first row is retrieve shipping address. That's set here under the title, retrieve shipping address. We have a description, fetch specified table data. Under output model object, we have customer details, return array, make sure it's off. Now for the update, shipping address, click the second row, click edit properties. Notice under title, we have update shipping address. We have a description here. We have input model object, customer details, output type is Boolean. And then once everything's done, click done. And this has now updated the two services. Now we're ready to test our services. So to test it, go back to model, click the table, so customer details. Then notice up here it says test object model, click that. So here's customer details. We're going to run the read, so it's going to retrieve data from the database. So here, go back to our table. Notice that we have an ID of 6,000. It's Tom Red. So right here, we'll just put in 6,000. And when we click the test button, it should pull up the data from the database. So there we see we have customer details. It's populated. Notice it's an adjacent structure. So we have zip code, we have shipping, name, Tom Reed ID 6,000, and then the state's CA. So this now shows that our model is successfully been set up, configured, and it works. So this concludes this part of the guided journey, and I hope you've enjoyed it.